Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of Nerds. And today we're going to be telling you about our experience with the 24-hour video shop challenge. This was presented to us by Ginger Hippy Gaming 42. But before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So the game we chose was
Joe and Mac by Data East on the Super Nintendo. So we thought, we picked a little bit of older title, but that's the games we would have rented.
Yeah.
Back in the day at video stores. I saw a lot of people picking PS2 games and stuff, and by that time we were a little bit older.
Because we're old.
Yeah. So, we went with Joe and Mac. We thought it had, really good graphics for the era. Big, bright, colorful sprites. Especially the monsters, or the bosses, were just these huge, massive sprites, which was pretty cool for a adventure platforming game.
Every bodacious babe had different colored hair and a different colored outfit. Some even had blue hair.
Yeah. So in this game you play as two cavemen who were trying to save all the babes that were stolen by the Neanderthal nerds. And somehow the nerds got the dinosaurs on their team. I don't know. But, so a couple criticisms. This game is pretty short on weapons. So that there's 4 weapons. There's, I guess, 5. you always have your club, and then there's a bone.
You throw.
Right. So all of these are, except for the club, they're all long range.
Yeah.
They have varying ranges and various speeds, which is cool.
And I would say various strengths.
Yes, yes. So there's the bone, the boomerang, fire, and the wheel.
The wheel is so cool because it just follows the contour of the land.
It'll just keep
so
going.
It'll just go up a straight ledge and then straight over.
Yeah, we got a kick out of the wheel, and I really like the fire because if it hits in front of something, the grass will kind of flame up for a little bit, and enemies can walk into it.
I didn't like the fire because it was too slow.
It was probably the slowest.
It just moved so slow, and to me, I was probably the most fond of the boomerang and the wheel. The problem with the wheel was that it was too heavy if you needed to throw up, because there were very frequently pterodactyls that were coming down at you, and you had to throw something up at them to hit them.
Even the Neanderthals like to jump attack you.
Yeah.
So you need to get under them.
The wheel
and throw
you
up.
could throw up, but not very high.
Right. I think the boomerang was the fastest, and then it got the comeback hit, so you'd throw it out, and then as it come back, it could hit them again. The bone was the most basic. So I did like the variety of weapons, but you can go a whole level and never find a weapon. Now, we're not the best at this game. We've never played it before, so I'm sure there's some hidden areas that we missed.
We figured out pretty late on that you could ride on the pterodactyls to get certain things. The only thing is we couldn't figure out. We could figure out that it was possible to do. We couldn't figure out how to do it. So how to utilize that ability.
You can't control the pterodactyl. The pterodactyl is going to make his continuous pattern. If he can fly past a wall, you will not go past it, so you will fall off and die. But the pterodactyl will be fine.
Yeah.
Going in and out of this wall. And then sometimes if you get too far over, you'll get hit and then fall off the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So,
I think if your partner goes too far off the screen, they can drag you off the screen and kill you.
Listen, the ledge was falling. We had to go. There's no time to wait. But, so when you die, you keep all your weapons and start back to the same place.
Which is nice.
When you continue, however,
you lose them.
You lose everything. Start from scratch, but you start at the same level you were at.
Right,
which
so
is
you
nice.
don't lose your place.
Right, but some levels it's only 30 seconds in a boss fight, and so you're trying to do a boss fight with just your club and no range at all, which that makes it exceptionally tough. The other criticism we had was the hit detection, especially on the bosses. It seemed like they typically wanted you to hit the dinosaurs in the nose, but it didn't seem to be an exact science there.
There was a mastodon that we had to hit, and it was kind of like, it really just seemed to vary on what minute you were at where you should hit him, because you would hit him in one spot and would work, and then suddenly it wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah, so that was a bit weird. And then some of the jumps, as you progress, some of the platforms get really, really narrow, and do that classic 8 and 16-bit thing where you think you're landing on the platform and you just slide right through it and die.
Yeah.
So I thought that could have been a little bit better.
I did like, though, that it has, and sometimes I like this. I say with older games, I think I like this more. It has a very easy linear story. Mm-hmm. We almost beat the game, probably in about an hour.
Yeah.
So you could and it was on easy mode, granted, but the fact that we could almost beat it in an hour means it's a pretty short game and it's pretty easy, but it's great for an inexperienced gamer like me. Mm-hmm. I know, I don't say I know like nearly as much as Fresh about games, but I know a little bit about some games. But it's all from watching. I don't play a whole lot of games. I love to play games if I can. I'm just not that great at it. This was a game that I could sit down and play, and I would say we There were times when I got in just as many hits as he did on the big bosses.
Right.
So this comes. You can play it single player. You can play it 2-player co-op, or you can play it what I call 2-player friendly fire, which is 2-player super game.
Right. So you can hit each other. That is, I'm glad that one's an option. I know
Yes.
some of those old school games, friendly
Any
fire
game with
was
friendly
always
fire
on.
is. I mean, I know friendly fire is more realistic, but I don't like it.
But you're cavemen trying to save cave women from Neanderthals and dinosaurs, so you've lost realism. But it's just those friendly fire games that
Yeah.
it makes it so tough.
Yeah, we played that one for maybe about 30 seconds.
And we just beat the tar out of each other. That's all we were doing.
That was, well, because we're both, trying, especially if you're throwing a boomerang.
Yeah.
I
with
mean,
all
you're
these
just
ranged weapons.
automatically
Yeah.
just everything is a ranged weapon except for your club. So you're pretty much just going to kill each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this game is on the NES, Super Nintendo, Sega, Game Boy, and now it's on the Nintendo Switch. I believe it's not a physical version. I think it's digital only at the Nintendo shop. So what we thought about the game, I really enjoyed it. I know we've had this in the collection for a little while now, and we haven't had time to play it. I'm really happy that Ginger Hippy Gaming.
I'm excited that we tried this challenge.
Yeah, told us to try it, sort of give us an excuse to dive into our library and play something we haven't played before. I think, looking back, if I had rented this, I would have been happy with it. It had a couple nitpicks here and there, but I think,
especially for a 24-hour challenge, the fact that you could beat it in those 24 hours is really nice.
Yeah.
Because it's so frustrating when you rent a game and you're maybe close to beating it or even not close to beating it, but you couldn't beat the game when you had it.
Yeah, because you just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Those 7, if you played Skyrim, which is like 700 hours, there'd be no purpose to rent that. You'd have to rent it.
You just
your late fees would be insane.
Yeah.
But this was a quick game. It'd be interesting to see. We made it to the last level. We died on the boss before the last boss. He was pretty tough, and that hit detection on him was just
It was awful.
insane. I didn't know what to do. I mean, it was.
And the thing was, is he has these bars that show his health, and I don't know what really determined what made those bars go down, because maybe you would hit him once and the bar would go down immediately, and then you would hit him 30 more times and it would still take forever for that next bar to go down, and then maybe hit him 2 more times and the next bar would go down. So it's like, how many hits does it take for a bar to go down? And then
you'd be in the same position, firing the same way. They've all got their patterns. So sometimes it would count as a hit, and they have the big reaction where they kind of rear back, and then sometimes just stone cold nothing. You're like, it didn't quite add up. But I think with more experience, more playthroughs, you could kind of nail that down, nail all the idiosyncrasies to each boss, and know really what you're doing. Like, there was a plant that I figured out if you roll past them, they get this, it's like a double dash where you tap forward, you'll do a roll. If you roll past them, get behind them, he can't hit you, and so you just keep jumping and throwing, and you'll kill him.
The plant one, the giant, what is that?
Venus flytrap.
Yeah, Venus flytrap.
Looked like,
it looked like Little Shop of Horrors.
yeah, Little Shop of Horrors, the remake. So, we're happy. We did this game. We would have been happy in the 90s if we rented it. It was a lot of fun. So let us know your experiences with Joe and Mac. Or if you decide to do this challenge, feel free to tag your video in the comment section.
The Ginger Hippy Gaming 42 challenge.
That's right, 24-hour video shop challenge.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Pumpkin.
Yeah.
I mowed the grass today. You fanning away a fart?
I fanning away your vape. It's too much. It's too much.
Brewdog, Clockwork Orange, hit me up.